Hello, dear listener. Welcome to the Future Seeds podcast. I'm your host, Cyprian, and in this show, I explore groundbreaking solutions to our world's unique problems by connecting seemingly unrelated fields such as technology, ecology, community, and spirituality.
Hi everyone, these are crazy times. I hope you're well and safe. I think one of the questions that a lot of people are asking at the moment is how to stay healthy and sane in your mind when being faced with so much suffering and so much fear. And fear will damage your immune system and hinder your mental state and eventually create panic. And there's a huge wave of fear sweeping through the world at the moment, very understandably. But the question remains, how can we keep a healthy mental state individually and as a community? So this is why I decided today to share a conversation I had with Eli Jaxon-Bear and Gangaji, two spiritual teachers, back in November. And my question was asked in a very different context, but the answer very much applies to the current situation. My question was very naive. It was how to be faced with all of the world's problems and still come from a place that the world is perfect, to which they laugh. And I invite you to listen to the answer and understand the deeper perspective of wisdom they come from, and how accepting the world as it is can bring us more peace and more strength and more compassion. Thank you for listening.
Good evening.
Hi.
This is my question. I don't want in all this research to be coming from a place of suffering and pain. I understand that that's not the right place to come from, and that's why I want to only offer solutions. My question is, how can I, because I find it challenging, still come from a place of everything is perfect when dealing with all these problems?
Why would you want to?
I can create the split, the separation.
But that split that you're creating, now you're going to create another split with everything's perfect. What if it's not perfect? What if it's heartbreaking? Let it be heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
It is
heartbreaking.
actually, isn't it?
Of course it's heartbreaking.
What if it's divinely, no, not what if, since it is divinely imperfect, can we actually open to the imperfection?
In other words, let the heartbreak be so deep that your compassion deepens. And your compassion deepens, you can bear more suffering, and you don't take it personally. So if you don't take it personally, you're not a victim of it. But as a fellow human, and you see the human condition, how can you not break your heart? You see the world, how could it not break your heart? So to impose perfection on top of that as something separate from that is still just a mind trip.
It's a suit of armor.
It's what?
It's like an armor.
A suit of armor.
Yeah.
To protect you against the pain of the tragedy of it. But the pain of the tragedy of it is part of its perfection.
Okay.
So is it, in this moment, can you just let it be imperfect? All of it?
Well, it's a lot of pain to deal with when you feel this heartbreaking, but
in this
I can
moment.
improve this skill.
In this moment, can you let your heart break? Can you not postpone that break? Yeah.
Yes, no skill needed.
Yeah.
You're a natural.
And there's actually a deeper connection then, right away. Because there's a meeting. The ideas of perfection are ideas, they're thoughts, they're empty. We have no idea what perfection is in reality. Any idea we have is an imposition on top of imperfection, because imperfection feels unbearable. So let it be unbearable. Yes, you see, that's the deepening then, immediately. With our spiritual conditioning of wanting to put perfection on top of it, that's so we don't have to feel it. So we don't have to not know. Well, we know it's perfect, we know everything is just right. But if we don't know, wow, the world is actually much bigger then. The cosmos is much bigger. Your own body is much bigger.
And the seeds you're planting are not seeds of mind.
Not seeds of...
Mind.
Yes.
Mind. Not seeds of the ideas, but seeds of the heart. Seeds of the broken heart. The broken heart is much more fertile than the holiest ideas of your mind.
That's interesting.
Well, check it out. Check it out for yourself.
See if it's right or not. Let me know.
Really.
Makes you happy anyways.
It may sound like we're preaching sometimes, but we really aren't preaching. We're really inviting you to consider and investigate perhaps something that your ideas have excluded altogether with anyone who's come up here. Just because we order the universe, that's the way we were first talking when we began. Our ordering of the universe is an illusion. It's empty. So to have that illusion shattered is really the opportunity for having the heart burst open. To be humbled as a creator or controller of the universe, to be humbled and to really, I don't know. I don't know is fresh and alive and pure.
And it's not an ignorant I don't know. It's not about, oh, I don't know. It's really an open mind, I don't know. So when you're open-minded and you don't know, everything's possible. You can know anything. But if it's an ignorant I don't know, it's an avoidance. It's, oh, I don't know, let's watch television. I don't know, let's get a beer. It's not that. It's a pure, open-hearted, open mind, not knowing. And then that's where the freshness of your own heart sows the seeds of love.
Yes, then you get to discover what blooms from these seeds.
Yeah.
They're really unknowable seeds.
It's beautiful. We support your good work.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. I support yours.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's the actual question. Can I be larger than fear? Can I be larger than pain? Can I be the all-enclosing entity, the container for all this experience? Can I sit through all those scary thoughts, through all those scary changes, and still get my body to open rather than contract? Can I get my mind to love rather than fear? That's the question. And I'd like to give a bit of context about Eli and Gangaji. Their teacher was known as Papaji, and Papaji's teacher was Ramana Maharshi, the sage that passed away in 1950. And those philosophies are not philosophies of idealization, they're philosophies of realization. What's true and what's real right now. And maybe that accepting the deeper truth, whether pleasant or not, in the end brings us to a place of more compassion, more love, and more wisdom and strength. And I'd like to finish with a quote that's been used and reused many, many times throughout Indian history. The quote is, "Let them burn like a candlelight in the sun," in which the candlelight is your thoughts and emotions, and the sun is your consciousness. Everyone's trying to find ways to deal with this crisis at the moment, and I think in terms of mental health, having a bit of interest in deeper philosophies and practices from ancient wisdom that came from countries that had to go through hard times over and over and over in the past, not a bad idea. And just a thought, maybe when you're faced with the worst, maybe the only strategy that works is actually diving as deep as you can into the deepest truth. I think, yes, at the moment, the virus is spreading very quickly, but the virus of fear is spreading even more quickly. I think we should take care of it and maybe learn from the wisdom of those ancient cultures. I hope you enjoyed listening to this. Stay safe, stay well, and see you for the next episode.
The Future Seeds podcast is a project that is supported by its community of listeners. If you like the show and what it stands for, I invite you to head to www.futureseeds.news, where you can support the show for just $2 a month, be part of the Future Seeds community, connect with its amazing members and speakers, and enable this podcast to thrive. I thank you for your time and hope you enjoy the show and its exploration of alternative solutions to the world's greatest challenges.